NTV Akawungeezi. Yesaawe n'endaganye eyafuuka Ssebugulu bwa Nyomo obukubo Muwanda ne Kulwazi. Mutya nno batayi. Mwebale kubeera kweno eyafuuka ng'erigenda mu kiyungu. Bwe mututanula nga naffe tweswanta n'okwesunga okuggyako obucu. Olaba n'asena ne beetala okukira Namutale. Tuteredde bubya obubindi bwewunzikira gwate munnange amatabo bwe gakuba ebyeru. Oba okyabuuza ki? Katutandike n'emitwe mikulu. Gonye badde gomosabe ejjinja ekwatiddwa ebadde yakalya abatuuze bana. Agambye bw'okutta mukama we olw'omutwalo gwa siringi gumu n'ekitundu poliisi emukutte. Mu mizanyo, Cranes eri mu nkambi yeetegekera Congo Brazzaville mu z'okusunsulamu abaneetaba mu kaafu. NTV Akawungeezi nze Frank Walisimbi ebulayo butikitiki butono okwera essaawa emu yennyini. Entiisa emiranga n'okwogera obutonotono bye bikyali ku kyalo Kasiba mu gombola y'ekyegonza ewa Kitunzi mu disitulikiti y'e Gomba. Ogenda okulaba nga famire y'abantu omwenda bwesaanyeewo mu muliro era nga mu kiseera kino poliisi yatandise dda okunoonyereza ku byogerwa nti waliwo omuntu ow'omutima mubi eyageze bano nga beebase ennyumba n'agikumako omuliro. Taata, maama n'abaana baabwe 7 okubadde n'abalongo abawere be bafudde. Muntu waffe abadde Gomba katulayo ebimu ku biri eruddeyo.
Bano be bamu ku badduukirize abasangiddwa mu maka ga Ssaalongo Bukoma William Kati omugenzi oluvannyuma lw'okuwulira amawulire nti Ssemaka yabadde afiiridde mu nnyumba wamu n'abo mu maka ge.
Ngenza okulaba nga wavaamu omukka mu nnyumba. Ngenda okutuuka ku luggi bwe nti n'empita nga temuli ayitaba. Ngenza okulaba nga ekinywero kisibire wabweru. Kati bwe ndaba nga kisibire wabweru n'ensembula ku nnyumba n'entunula mu ddirisa bwe nti ngenza okulaba nga munda eri watangaala emabega. Nendowooza nti oba ennyumba emmanju yagudde okwetoloola bwe nti ngenza okulaba nga munda ndabamu ebintu ebisiriza. Nensooka ndowooza nti oba ennyumba yagudde bo ne baba oba yayidde bo ne baba nga bagenze nagenza okwetegereza nga ndaba bantu bennyini.
Bukoma William, mukyala we Nampiira Babula, abaana baabwe okuli Watulo Ivan, Sewungu Gerard, Mukona Sande, Sebutinde Enokoko abalongo okuli 2 ne Nakato bebafiiridde mu bukambwe obutagambika. Bano kitegerekese nti basoose kutemula oluvannyuma kwekokebwa mu nnyumba yaabwe era nga abantu 8 tebalutonze so nga ow'omwenda nga naye abadde mu maka gano tamanyiddwako mayitire ge.
Kati oluvannyuma mu kunoonyereza bwe bagwiridde ku buli siiti obwa JJ Bus Company nga omuntu abantu 2 abo baalinnye okuva e Kenya ku lw'omukaaga nga 9 ne baba nga bajja eno naye ate tetwabalabako. Kati ensonga lwaki tuteebereza okuba nga bajja ne beekweka ne bamala okukola obulabe bwabwe ne bagenda.
Ensasa geno egudde ku kyalo Kasiba mu gombola y'ekyagonza mu disitulikiti y'e Gomba. Entabo kigambibwa nti enibanga evudde ku nkaayana z'ettaka Ssemaka zabadde alina ne mukulu we Watulo Michael era ng'ono yateeberezebwa okuba nti yakoze obutemu buno.
Ekyaviddewo okutibwa kwe alina muganda we nga twategeregana naye nga muganda ku kitaawe naye nga sikunyaabwe naye nga tebategeregana era yabeeranga awo kati ye n'asenguka n'agenda ewaabwe embaali.
Poliisi kati ebakanye n'okwenja Watulo okugiyambako mu kubuliriza kwayo.
But we are yet to investigate and establish exactly what happened.
Bano oluvannyuma bazikiddwa wakati mu nnaku etagambika. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Oluganda lw'abantu abo n'abantu b'e Gomba tubasaasidde. Abaali ba minisita b'ebyobulamu Jim Muhwezi, Mike Mukula ne Dr. Alex Kamugisha ne Alice Kaboyo eyali omukozi mu State House batandise okukozesebwa mu misango egy'obukulupya n'okwekomya ssente z'abalwadde ba siriimu n'okugema abaana. Abakulu bano bamaze emyaka kumpi 5 nga bagenda mu kkooti ezitali zimu okuwakanya eby'okubawozesa okutuusa kkooti esembayo lwe yalagira nti batandika okuwuza.
Jim Wezi ne banne basatu bavunaanibwa emisango 4 okuli obukulupya, obubbi, okujinga ebiwandiiko n'okukozesa obubi woofiisi. Kigambibwa nti nga bakola ebyewaggulu bava ku gavumenti okufiira obukadde 16 ezaali eza Global Alliance Vaccines for Immunization oba Gavi. Basooka kuwakanya kaliisoliiso wa gavumenti okubagulako emisango nga bagamba nti talina buyinza era okuwoza kwayimirira mu 2007. Olwaleero kkooti etandikiddewo yakoma era 2 ku bajulizi 3 abaali bawadde obujulizi babuuziddwa ebibuuzo balooya ba Muhwezi ne banne. Dr. Isa Makumbi, omu ku baali bavunaanyizibwa ku kugema abaana mu minisitule y'ebyobulamu, ategeezezza nti yakkiriza ssente okufuna mu ggwanika minisitule nti naye waliwo abaazibba ekitasobola kukikakasa. Uganda yayogerwako abagabi b'obuyambi nti emu ku zaasinga okukola obulungi mu kugema abaana era neeyongera miliyoni za $4 4.3 okwongera amaanyi mu mulimu guno. Makumbi yeeganya ekyokuweekerako mu mwezi okugenda mu banka n'ekigendeerwa eky'okubbayo obukadde bwa siringi 210 okuwulira omusango kuddamu enkya.
Otyo NTV Akawungeezi. Goonya yagambibwa okubanga ebadde etadde abantu b'e Masese mu Jinja ku bunkenke ekwatiddwa. Goonya abampembe baajebakiridde mu kiro ekikeesezza olwaleero era babadde bali awo ng'evuddeyo okunoonya ataayaya yenna emubwebwene nga bwezzeekola. Etwalidda mu kkuumiro ery'ebisolo erya Machon Falls National Park.
Goonya eno eteeberezebwa okubeera wakati w'emyaka 4 n'5. Okumanya yakula neewola, obunene bwayo busamaliriza n'abagikutte era bakira bagiyiira ne ku mazzi mu ngeri y'okugiweweeza. Kigambibwa nti Goonya eno erudde ng'esuza abantu b'e Masese ku Tebuukye era mbu eriko n'abantu abawerera ddala 4 beebaddeyo akabwebwena. Abakola ku by'ensolo z'omu nsiko bategeezezza nti okukyukakyuka mu mbeera y'ensi naddala ng'abantu boonoona obutonde bwayo yemu ku nsonga ezivuddeko ensolo nga zino okubakyukira ne zibakolako obulabe.
Buli national park zaabeeranga zokka nga tewali bantu bazeetoolodde naye kati abantu baviirira ddala ku national park ekiba nti ensolo kiba kyangu okuva mu materekero gaffe neziyingira mu bantu.
Kyokka newankubadde ensolo eno ekwatiddwa era nga waliwo n'endala nnyingi ezizze zikwatibwa, abantu balabuddwa obuteeyibaala nga balowooza nti obuzibu bugonjoddwa.
Kakati ono yabadde akulira ekitundu ekyo nga teri musajja mulala akola ki ayingirawo. Kati tumugjeewo abavubuka bonna bagenda kudduka bajje balwanire ekitundu ekyo paka omu ku bo wanaasiiza bannaamaanyi. Eyo engeri y'ensolo tugamba okuggyawo ensolo eno ofunamu relief naye ate endala zijja eziddawo.
Goonya eno etwaliddwa mu kkuumiro ly'ebisolo erya Machon Falls ebeera eyo gy'ejja okusobola okweyagalira obulungi nga terina gwetigomya.
Netwala ku ttale neeteeka eyo nejjanga bweryako manye etegerako ensolo erabiki.
Weewaawo. Ensimbi gavumenti ze yasuubiza okuwa abavubuka okwekulaakulanya mu mbalira y'omwaka 2011-2012 zivuddeko ab'ekawempe okutaama ne baggala ekitebe kya munisipaali. Abavubuka bagamba nti ensimbi zino tebazifunanga ate ng'ebula ennaku ntono nnyo gavumenti esome oba eyise embalirira y'ebyensimbi ey'omwaka guno. Poliisi ebaddewo okukkakanya embeera.
Mu mbalirira y'omwaka guno ogugenda okuggwako, gavumenti yayise obuwumbi 25 ng'ensimbi zino zaali za kuyamba abavubuka okwekulaakulanya, wabula olw'obukwakulizo obungi obwaziteekebwako bangi tebannaba kuzifuna. Gye buvuddeko, abavubuka bano era beekalakasa nga bawakanya ekyensimbi zino okulwayo okutuusa abakulira poliisi lwe babatwala eri pulezidenti n'alagira obuwumbi 16 buweebwa abavubuka ba Kampala wabula nga nazo tebannazifuna. Kino kireetedde abavubuka bano okuva mu mbeera nga bagamba nti esigadde ennaku 3 gavumenti okusoma embalirira y'omwaka omujja wabula ng'ensimbi ezaabaweebwa tebannazifuna kyokka nga baateekamu ezaabwe okwewandiisa.
Kati gye nkolya sikyalinnyayo. Buli wentuuka bagamba wuuye yaleeta esente za movement. Wuuye yaleeta sente za movement. Sikyalinnyayo kati. Omuluka gwange gwe gumu ku miruka egyali gisinga okuba obutayimba obuli successful. Tetukyabukuba lwakuba kyekyankuba gye ninfuba okulaba nga mbasomesa mbabuulira gye tugenda okukolera. Kakati ssebo ng'ogamba nti kire kyankuba tulina kukunga kwekalakaasa ku ssente z'abavubuka. Nejjukira ngenda kweyunga ku bavubuka kisooka ndi buvubuka omutendeke bokisa.
Abavubuka bano era babadde bagaddewo ekitebe kya ggombolola y'e Kawempe wabula akulira poliisi mu Kampala Andrew Kawesi n'abawooyawooya okutuusa lwe basisinkanye omumyuka wa meeya wa Kawempe okutereeza ensonga eno.
Tukanyiza era nga tutunuulira ne empapula ezivudde mu KCCA executive director yawandiise ng'agamba nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 3 tezinakuggwa omwezi guno ensimbi zino zijja kuba zitandise okuweebwa divisions.
Mu lukiiko luno bawanyisiganyizza ebisongovu era ne balabula okuddamu okwekalakasa singa tebafuna nsimbi zino.
Tulina obulumi bungi abaana bataddemu ssente zaabwe nnyingi ate no gwe bakugwe oyinza okuba gwolina kofuna naye abaana tulina bizinesi za mitwalo 3 chapati olina akwate mitwalo 5 n'akuba biki kimanya ba certificate biki kayina ne kamugwako ate nabeera nga tafunye obusungu tulina bungi.
Genda obagambe bwayita Three Welding oba yayitamu gwekwata certificate yange ogisasule bw'oba togisasudde kugireeta kubeeramu nga 15 kufuna sente nja kubazza wano kusaleko mu ofiisi yo aramu aramanyi eno gavumenti nze nagironda ndi mukulembeze
kubanga ate tugenda kuba babi nnyo nga 16 nosinga sina byengenda kwongerako nze mbadde njagala musisi wano okuba nga kakkanamu.
Wabula omumyuka wa meeya agumizza abavubuka bano n'abategeeza ng'ensimbi zino bwe bagenda okutandika okuzifuna ng'ennaku z'omwezi 15 omwezi guno.
Era nabasuubiza abavubuka singa 15 tebatandika kuteekako ssente zaabwe nange nja kubeegattako kubanga kye balwanirira kyabwe lwakuba kiruddeyo ate tetujja kugumikiriza kulaba nti kiyingira mu mwaka guli omujja.
Abavubuka abasoba mu 35 be balina okuganyulwa ku nsimbi zino ku bibiina 73 ebyewandiisa mu ggombolola y'e Kawempe. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV Akawungeezi.
NTV Akawungeezi. Poliisi ekikandwa mu Mityana ekutte omusajja omupakasi agambibwa okudda ku mukama we Yozefu Kazookulya n'amutema ebiso okutuusa lwe yamutta lwa siringi za Uganda 1.5. Musajja mukulu ono abadde aliko we yeewogomye ekyosi kimaleyo okuyita poliisi gye muggyeyo.
Patrick Sebufu ng'ono abadde yaddukira Nankulabye mu Kampala era ng'atemera mu gy'obukulu 39 amaze n'akwatibwa era n'aggalibwa poliisi ekikandwa ng'alangibwa gwa butemu. Kigambibwa nti poliisi ezzeesuula enkesi okuva Sebufu lwe yakkakkana ku mukama we Joseph Kazookulya ow'emyaka 86 n'amutematema ebisa ebyamutirawo ku kyalo Nabiteete n'oluvannyuma n'amalamu omusubi. Kigambibwa nti yamutira siringi 1.5 ze yali amubanja.
Omuntu yattibwa nange nsamba n'abagula nti bagamba ffe twamutse nga tuli mu budo olw'okuba tutambula ne mutabani we.
Naye abantu balumiriza ggwe.
Anti nze kasita bagamba batunoonya kututta.
N'odduka.
Nze ne nziruka kubanga nga tebayinza kunzira ku bintu by'essimu.
Sebufu ng'ono abadde yakomyewo mu ggombolola y'ekikandwa akwatiddwa batuuze ku kyalo Kawansenyi nga yakamala okumenya ebbaala lya Joseph Matovu n'abbamu ekidomola kya walagi.
Nalyo ng'okutuuka we nteeka omwenge newadde ntumbidde omwenge gwange omutadde ng'ebidomola 2 sibiraba. Kaakati mutima ne gunkubira ng'era oyo yennyini oyo yatujojobya nategedde butegeezi nti era Sebufu yeyanzibye omwenge gwange. Kati zibadde ziwera ssaawa nga 3 nga banuna nga bangamba gwe watugambye tumukuta ali mu duuma jangu.
Kitegerekese nti omukwato ono aliko ekikoosi kyakolagana nakyo okuva e Kampala era nga wakusimbibwa mu mbuga z'amateeka atunke n'omusango gw'obutemu n'obubbi.
Ebyo biva Mityana ku kyalo Muduuma n'ebyalo ebirala ebiriranyewo. NTV Akawungeezi ekyagenda mu maaso edakika ziri kumpi 12 ezise ku ssaawa. Mutukomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri ky'obokola beera naffe. Abakugu batangazizza ku byogero nti eddagala Truvada liwonya siriimu. Omusawo w'ekinnansi yakwata obujego omutuuze w'e Sudan n'amunyagako obukadde 45 akwatiddwa.
This is NTV. This is NTV. This is is NTV. This 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 is
weewaawo NTV Akawungeezi tukyagenda maaso. Kkooti eragidde okulonda omubaka omukyalo owa Kasese kuddemu mu bwangu. Muna FDC Winikiza agobeddwa mu Parliament olw'ebitagenda bulungi mu kulonda okwaliyo omwaka oguwedde. Rehema Muhindo owa NRM yavuganya Kiza yajulira ku bya kkooti enkulu yaleesazeewo nti tekyetaagisa kuddamu kulonda. Winikiza abadde Nampala oludda oluvuganya n'okuwabula gavumenti mu Parliament.
Winikiza akiikirira abakyala b'e Kasese asaziddwa mu kkooti ejulirwamu etudde mu Kampala enkya ya leero.
Just take heart. I am going back to Katwe to tell those people that you know what they have said, that you illegally voted and wrongly voted. But anyway, I am sure they gave me their vote genuinely. I'm going to do the by-election. I think I will also ask permission from you to support her. So they are going. You are going to by-election. I'm going.
Rehema Muhindo gwe yavuganya naye yeekubira endulu mu kkooti eno nga wakanya okusalawo kwa kkooti enkulu. Omulamuzi Mpagi Bahageine mu vyo gy'ebyokulonda agitadde kakyoko ebyokulonda nti kalemerera okutegeka okulonda okw'amazima era n'alagira nti omuwawaabirwa Kiza n'omuwaabi Muhindo baliyirirwe ssente ze baasaasanya mu kkooti.
Kkooti yeesazeewo, kkooti yeegambye nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ke kajja okusasulira emigozobaano gyonna egyaliwo olw'ensonga nti kakiiko ke kaleeta obuzibu obwaliwo kubanga ke kavunaanyizibwa mu mateeka okubeera nga kakubiriza ekulonda mu mateeka naye tekatuukiriza buvunaanyizibwa obwo niwesanga nti waliwo obululu bungi nnyo bwasazibwamu.
Abalamuzi basatu Mpagi Bahegeine, Remi Kasule n'omulamuzi Nshimye bonna bakkaanyiza nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda tekagoberera bulungi mateeka nga kati okulonda kusaana kuddibwemu.
Naye nze ngamba bannayuganda nti ngenda wase Kasese nzirayo okugamba abantu be Kasese nti mwamba kalulu semwakamba lwa bukyamu oba saba sasula ssente okumpereza kalulu. Naye electoral commission embi era yemu egenda kukola ki kutegeka obululu. Nsaba yonka milioni zange 2 kubanga nagenda mu lower court nembangula omusango bano ne baapilinga mu high court.
We must have our seat. It was given to us by the people of Kasese and we cannot hand it to the electoral commission or to the NRM. We cannot.
Kati ekisigalidde ye kkooti okuwandiikira akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ku nsala eno wamu ne paalamenti era akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kajja kulangirira ddi okulonda lwe kunaddibwamu mu bbanga eritali lyawala. Jingo Francis, NTV Akawungeezi.
Otyo amawulire gabadde gatandise okusaasaana nti eddagala eriwonya siriimu lyazuuse. Ab'ekitongole ki African AIDS Vaccine Partnership bakakasiza nti ebyo byonna bya bulimba. Bakatiriza wabula nti eddagala Truvada liyambako buyambi okuziyiza omuntu okufuna akawuka okuva ku mulala ebitundu nga 34 ku buli 100 byokka. Mu bafumbo ng'omu alina akawuka ate nga omulala takalina likola ebitundu 73 ku buli 100.
Eggulire nga lino erisomebwa abantu abawera bw'osangako omutwe ogusoma nti AIDS Vaccine Found ekitegeeza nti eddagala erigema siriimu lizuuse mwatwa okwekulisa oyinza okudduka awaka kondomu zonna z'olina n'ozisuula. Abaana abawala abatuulo nga okweraliikirira siriimu bakuvaaku nga batandika kunyumirwa bulamu omuli n'okufuna embuto. Abakugu okuva mu kitongole kya The African AIDS Vaccine Partnership ekitebe ekikulu ekya Africa yonna ekituula mu Uganda basambaza ebibadde byogerwa nti eddagala lya siriimu lyazuuse.
Twagala okubategeeza nti vaccine ya HIV tennafunibwa naye ng'okunoonyereza kukyagenda mu maaso okufuna vaccine eno era waliwo bingi ebikoleddwa mu nsi yonna ne mu Uganda okulaba nga tufuna vaccine.
Eddagala lya Truvada ligattibwamu ebika by'eddagala 2 era libadde likolanga ARV okuweweeza ku kawuka naye mu mwaka gw'2010 kyazuulibwa nti lisobola okuziyiza omuntu okufuna akawuka.
Eddagala lino erya Truvada lyo likozesebwa kumpi omira buli lunaku akakerenda okugezaako oli atannafuna kawuka kano okumuyiziyiza okufuna akawuka kano. Bw'oyesaayesaamu era liyinza obutakuyamba.
Mu Septemba w'omwaka guno lwekijja okumanyikibwa okuva mu kitongole kya Food and Drug Administration mu America oba eddagala lino ddala lisobola okwegatta ku mitendera emirala egiziyiza ku kawuka ng'okukomola kw'abasajja okukozesa kondomu okubeera omwesigwa eri munno n'ebirala. Naye ate era lino eddagala lya Truvada ne bwe linakkirizibwa Uganda terisobola kuba lya buseere kuba ddoozi yaalyo omwaka egula obukadde obusoba mu 27.
Vaccine tukyagyetaaga era abo abeewaayo bannakyewa ne bajja ne babetaba mu kugezesa kwe tukola tukyabaaniriza.
Mu Uganda abantu abeetaaga eddagala lya Mukenenya basukka mu 300. Florence Nalimba, NTV Akawungeezi.
NTV Akawungeezi toddeeyo ne weeyibala bakunyonyodde Truvada kyakola. Mu kugenda maaso poliisi embale okutta omusawo w'ekinnansi yagambibwa okusaba omulwadde we obukadde bwa $5 si bwa siringi naye obwa pawundi eza Sudan. Omusawo ono yabulawo oluvannyuma lw'okusaba ssente zino. Jamada Mbigo agambibwa nti yakwata omulwadde obujega mu South Sudan yasangiddwa mu bitundu by'embale ali eyo alya ssente oba anena n'okunyumiza be yaleka awaka nga bizinesi bwe zibadde zitambula obulungi.
Jamada Mbigo ng'atemera mu gy'obukulu 26 yasangiddwa ku kyalo obusajja bwa Nkuba Embale ng'eno gye yabadde yeekukumye okuva lwe yajja ku mukazi obukadde 45 obwa pawundi za South Sudan n'addukayo. Omukazi bwe yatuukiridde poliisi ya kuno kwe kutandika omuyiggo era kwe kumugwako.
Omukyalo ono yagendayo amufunira obujjanjabi n'amusaba ezo zonna ssente ate n'atabaako kyamukolera ate oluvannyuma n'adduka n'adda mu Uganda era tweyambisizza essimu ye seriyo namba y'essimu okumutrackinga ne tusobola omukwatira bisajja bwa Nkuba.
Ono asangiddwa n'ekipande ekiriko erinnya lye yeetuuma era nga kiraga ng'obusawo bwe buli ku ddaala ery'ensi yonna era nga kuliko endwadde ennyingi zaawonya ssaako ebirala bingi.
omusajja ono okusooka okumala omukwata yabadde ne simu kaadi nnyingi eziwerera ddala ekirabika nti akyusakyusa ennamba z'essimu ng'akola emirimu gye n'ebiragalalagala ebyebikoola ebya habu bingi byagamba nti byakozesa okujjanjaba ate era nga tumusanze n'ebbaluwa eriko sitampu akulira abasawo mu Eastern naye nga tusuubira nti tujja kumukonsaltingako asobole okukakasa oba omusajja ono amumanyi.
Mu kaseera kano bakyali mu kwebuuza ku poliisi e South Sudan oba gye banaamuggulirako omusango anti gye yaguddiza kyokka bwe kinaaba kyakukolebwa wano wakuggulwako omusango gw'okufuna ensimbi mu bukyamu.
Eriemu n'eddakiika 23 tukyagenda mu maaso ne NTV Akawungeezi tukomawo n'ebyemizannyo tujja kubulira Uganda Cranes bweri mu kweteekateeka girobera naffe.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Tubeyanzizza abanywanyi abo bwe tujja okuteetera okumala akaseera. Mu byemizannyo abazannyi ba Uganda Cranes bakomyewo mu kutendekebwa olwaleero. Betegekera kuddingana ne Congo Brazzaville ku Lwomukaaga mu kisawo ky'ebyafaayo e Nambole. Omupiira gw'Olwomukaaga gumu ku egyo egy'okusunsulamu abaneetaba mu mpaka za Africa Cup of Nations oba CAF mu 2013.
Abazannyi bonna okujjako omuyambi w'omukwasi wa ggoolo Hamza Muwonge n'omuyambi w'omutendesi Jackson Mayanja bakomyewo mu nkambi e Nambole nga beetegekera omupiira gw'oku Lwomukaaga. Muwonge ne Mayanja bagambibwa okubanga babadde n'ebizibu eby'enjawulo. Omusambi Mike Serumaga eyasubwa omupiira gwa Senegal naye yazzeemu okutendekebwa ne ttiimu oluvannyuma lw'okumalako ekibonerezo eky'obutazannya mupiira gwa Senegal ate nga n'ensimbi ezaweebwa banne yazifuuwa mu ng'ombe. Serumaga yakaligibwa omutendesi Bob Williamson oluvannyuma lw'okutoloka n'asula ebweru w'enkambi ku Lwokuna ng'ebula olunaku lumu Uganda esambe ne Senegal. Omuduumizi wa ttiimu Ande Mwesigwa atendekeddwa yekka nga bw'assuuka obuvune bwe yafuna mu mupiira gw'oku Lwomukaaga. Mwesigwa asuubirwa okuba ng'asuusa obuvune buno ku Lwomukaaga nga Uganda eddingana ne Congo mu kisawe Nambole.
Bankuba empiso mu musiwa immediately nga nakava mu kisaawe so kyabika enyambyeko nnyo okulaba nti ndi kavalinga so mpuliramuko obulungiko era nsuubira nti in 3 days oba 2 days from now nja kubanga ndi bulungi hopefully.
Wabula Tony Maweje ne Abedaira basitula lunaku lwa nkya okuddayo mu Iceland. Maweje alina kaadi emmyufu mu mpaka zino ate Abedaira yayitibwa kilabu ye mu Iceland. Sam Mpoza, NTV Akawungeezi.
Ebisesa byabadde mu kisaawe Mubende nga ttiimu y'essaza ly'Ebuwekula etunka ne Bulemeezi mu mpaka z'amasaza ga Buganda ez'omwaka guno. Enkuba yafukumuse ng'omupiira gugenda mu maaso olwo abasamize abayise ne ttiimu ya Bulemeezi ne bajjayo ebibindi okukommonta bagobe enkuba naye we yalemeddeko n'etonya. Omuntu waffe yabaddewo awo ng'alengera ebigenda mu maaso.
abawagizi b'essaza ly'Ebulemeezi beeyiye mu bungi emubende nga bagenza okwagira essaza lyabwe nga litunkana ery'Ebuwekula. Bangi ku bo lino lyabadde bbinu olw'amazina bakiraga batyebula okulaga obuwagizi bwabwe eri essaza lyabwe. Mu bangi abeeyiye emubende mumabadde n'abalogo bano boolyawo abazze okuloga omupiira baguwangule. Wabula ttiimu zaabadde zikyasibaganya mu kitundu ekyokubiri namutikwa w'enkuba kwe kutandika okufukumuka. Abalogo bano bajjeeyo ebikola ne batandika okufuwa emmindi mbu batangire enkuba eno wabula nga basiwaŋŋaano ku mazzi. Ekisaawe kyafuuse ekidiba era difiri n'ayimiriza omuzannyo nga tebakyalaba layini za kisaawe. Omupiira gwabadde gubuzaako eddakiika 25 guggwe era ensonga ne zitwalibwa mu kakiiko okusalawo oba gunaddibwamu.
This is NTV.
Weewaawo ebyemizannyo nabyo we bityo we bigenze wano e Kampala wetusinziira okuweereza bino byonna. Olwaleero akasana kaase okuggyako ebitundu ebimu bye batubuulidde nti obudde bubadde bukkakkamu naddala Mambuka ne mu Maserengeta. Ebyo bwe mbimala mba sina kyenyinza kwongerako bannaye. Essaawa eryemu n'eddakiika kumpi 30. Kasooli w'eggomba bagamba bamuliisa mbiro munnanga akusingira ddala. Olaba ensekere ekwetisa obugina. Abayutaani bali wano bagansimbye kamberekereze banywanyi nga ebikyayi eby'omujaaja. Tunaddamu olunaku olw'enkya musire bulungi.
This is NTV.
Today on Showcase Uganda, we take you to the east of Uganda to the intriguing Teso region. Destination, Kumi town.
This is NTV.
Zebras belong to the horse family and are best known for their distinctive white and black stripes, with each zebra having its own unique pattern of stripes, just like fingerprints. There are 3 species of zebra: the plain zebra, gravy zebra, and the mountain zebra. Zebras generally stand from 4 to 5 feet at the shoulder and weigh around 300 kilograms. The largest species, gravy zebra, can weigh up to 450 kilograms. Zebras can be found in a variety of habitats, such as grasslands, savannas, woodlands, thorny scrublands, mountains, and coastal hills. When the group is alarmed, it takes to flight with the first 5 dominant females or mares in the front and the stallions bringing up the rear. Like horses, zebras walk, trot, canter, and gallop. They are generally slower than horses, but their great stamina helps them to outpace their predators. Bachelor males either live alone of other bachelors until they're old enough to challenge a breeding stallion. Like most animal species, female zebras mature earlier than males, and a mare may have her first foal by the age of 3. Zebras have a gestation period of 12 months. Zebras have a lifespan of 20 years. Zebras belong to the horse family and are best known for their distinctive white and black stripes, with each zebra having its own unique pattern of stripes, just like fingerprints. There are 3 species of zebra: the plain zebra, gravy zebra, and the mountain zebra. Zebras generally stand from 4 to 5 feet at the shoulder and weigh around 300 kilograms. The largest species, gravy zebra, can weigh up to 450 kilograms. Zebras can be found in a variety of habitats, such as grasslands, savannas, woodlands, thorny scrublands, mountains, and coastal hills. When the group is alarmed, it takes to flight with the first 5 dominant females or mares in the front and the stallions bringing up the rear. Like horses, zebras walk, trot, canter and gallop. They are generally slower than horses, but their great stamina helps them to outpace their predators. Bachelor males either live alone of other bachelors until they're old enough to challenge a breeding stallion. Like most animal species, female zebras mature earlier than males, and a mare may have her first foal by the age of 3. Zebras have a gestation period of 12 months. Zebras have a lifespan of 20 years. It's the second most endangered giraffe subspecies with only a few hundred members. All of those that are living in the wild are in protected areas in Uganda and Kenya. The red-striped giraffes have the basic appearance of other giraffe subspecies: long legs, a long neck with 7 elongated vertebrae, and a leopard-like coat. The base of the neck has spines which project upward and form a hump over the shoulders. They have anchor muscles that hold the neck upward. But they are taller, measuring up to 6 meters, ranking as the tallest of all mammals, with an adult male weighing up to 2,000 kilograms. A giraffe's heart can weigh up to 10 kilograms and measure about 60 centimeters in length.
This is NTV.
Welcome to this edition of the Art and Design Show. Tonight, we meet fashion designer Santa Anzo. We experience the art of Matali, the Islamic dance, and much more. Mark Byamugisha, also known as Cassie, is a realist with a passion for wildlife. In fact, he wouldn't mind to draw and paint them for eternity. A realist is one who portrays everyday characters, situations, dilemmas, and objects, all in a true life manner. We caught up with him at home and he told us what makes him tick.
I think I started way back in school, and one time our art teacher brought us a model to draw, and I found out I had pulled out her face successfully. So that's when I realized at least I had some talent.
Mark goes out to different places, observes, takes photographs, analyzes them, and finally recreates his impressions onto paper.
This is one of my first paintings. And as you can see, it has a small problem. It's cracking. It's because I didn't know what to use. So the primer I used was a poor one. So after painting the piece, it started to crack and flake. So that's why I'm keeping it. And that's why I insist that people, starters, should insist on using quality paints.
Mark works with a number of media. He can use pencil, pen, and paints such as acrylics, water or oil paints, or whatever inspires and amazes him.
Right now I'm using acrylics because they're water-based, they dry fast.
Like many artists, Mark faces the challenge of people not truly appreciating the depth of his work and the effort that he puts into executing each unique masterpiece.
At least would like to see more Ugandans appreciating art and buying some art. So that is the first challenge I see. Secondly, selling or marketing art in Uganda is really hard. So we have to find market elsewhere, outside the country.
In order to expand the market for his products, he has held exhibitions in East Africa, although his ultimate dream is to feature his work in art galleries worldwide.
My future plans are to have a big exhibition abroad, an exhibition in one of these big galleries, say something like Tate Gallery in London, or these big galleries where you can really break even and get a name from. So I'm looking forward to more exhibitions and maybe some workshops where we can learn some more styles.
Each one of us is inspired by a passion within and those with whom we share talents. This in turn shapes our lives.
I liked Taga's works. Actually, he inspired me to do art because when I was just coming up, starting up art, I would go over to his place and look at art. Then he would advise me on the way forward, on what to do, materials to use.
And so for now, the sky continues to be the limit for Mark. In this part of the Art and Design Show, we bring you what is commonly referred to as Matali, a musical entertainment witnessed at Islamic weddings and functions. We converged with the Islamic community at Prince Kasim Kakungulu's home during the Eid Mubarak celebrations to witness this Islamic art form.
We picked that culture from the coast, especially the East African coast and Zanzibar. It has got a Swahili background. That's why we picked it. And I believe also the Swahilis picked it from the Arabs from Oman. So you can trace its origin from the Middle East via the East African coast to Uganda. It was introduced here possibly about 1844 when the Arab traders came to Uganda.
Matali is simply a fusion of percussion of locally made musical instruments to produce a distinct, sharp, and wonderful sound. The dance adds flavor to the instruments in praise of what Allah has done and to celebrate other occasions like marriages and the birth of a child. The dancers lined up in front of the instrumentalists, moving rhythmically and with a lot of energy, shaking and praising Allah. Clearly, it's not about size and age, but as long as you can dance and move to the beat. We met the leader of the Matali group, Haj Khalifa Ahmed Mukasa, who tells us more.
Kyekivuga kyaffe eky'obusiraamu bwe tuba nga tusanyuka getukuba era kizibu nnyo omuntu okusanga amataali awantu wonna n'olowooza nti waliwo banywa mwenge naye ekivuga kyaffe eky'abasiraamu mataali gayina enzikira yaago era byo tetuba nga abeesiba nga abazina ngoma.
While the music played, the children played, the women shared, and men discussed. The food that had been fasted for in days was in plenty and for all to enjoy. Singing, praising, and dancing to the goodness of God will leave you with this unique festivity music. Like Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "I have a dream." Many of us think that dreams are for those in privileged families, high status, and perhaps the well-educated. Well, in this part of the show, we meet a fashion designer who had a dream and went out of her way to make it happen. Santa Anzo's mission is to engage the fashion industry into showcasing African-inspired creations, modeling and shaping people's mindsets into being proud of their own origins.
I'm known for, first of all, my innovation, creativity. I consider myself quite humbly a trendsetter. All the areas that I'm operating into were originated by myself and my team. It's taken a lot of prayer, for me. And also a lot of panel beating of especially who I am. I had to first of all let go of some of the things that were in my way before I got to where I am right now, and they were actually hindering my growth.
Arapapa, well known for innovative, unique, simple and elegant designs, recently showcased at the Uganda North America Convention at the Yacht Regency Hotel in San Francisco. Santa gets to tell us what the event was like.
First of all, we were invited for last year's in New York, and then we just had Fashion Week, and lots of activities running, and so it was pushed to. We pushed it to this year, and I must say the whole trip was, worthwhile.
As a designer who has lived her dream, Santa, with her warm and outgoing personality, has had an opportunity of helping others, especially in the same industry, by linking up designers from different countries to showcase their designs at the Uganda International Fashion Week.
We have not moved as one fashion designer and her models, but we've moved as Uganda. And so, our next dream is to move as Africa, really.
With this frame of mind, Santa and her team are ready to focus on the Commonwealth meeting due in November to showcase Uganda and its greatness through fashion and style.
CHOGM, is bigger than the Uganda International Fashion Week, number one. Number two, CHOGM is about showcasing Uganda, showcasing our creativity, showcasing our resources and all. And that's what Fashion Week is all about. And so, as the custodians of Fashion Week, my team and I felt that it is very important that we give our all to CHOGM. So that said, that simply means that this year we might actually see no Fashion Week, but we having a big fashion party, to say thank you to everybody who's been part of the planning process since January. But we have gotten a request to actually make sure that we give our all to CHOGM.
Santa is greatly inspired by her father, who is always mindful of ideas that build the nation. The President of Uganda, Dr. Martin Alike, and others like Maya Angelou.
The youngsters, the next generation, is almost at a loss when it comes to choosing role models, identifying with successful people. Like I always say, our people do not tell you the way it is. They'll tell you the rosy bits, the bits that they achieved. They will not tell you their challenges or their failures. And so for me, I'm inspired so much by those women who tell me all the nitty-gritties. That way I identify with them, both their challenges, their failures.
It's not wrong for Santa therefore to be proud of where her talent has taken her. She has rubbed shoulders with renowned R&B artists Asha Raymond, Ntare Mwine, Monica Kaufman, as seen at the dinner hosted by the mayor of Atlanta, Georgia, Jack Ellis. With success stories like hers, one's dream is just a start from being a reality. You and I could be telling our stories next. Bak Simba, Nankasa, Ding Ding and the rest are the Ugandan folk classical art forms that reassure of a people's roots and origins. In today's contemporary times, these folks have been adapted and given a twist to fit the times. This is the kind of music Sarah Ndagiri does.
I've gone back to my roots. Get traditional beats, traditional rhythms, traditional melodies, and used them in this recording. I've used some of the traditional songs, but changed a bit, fused them. So this time I did fusion. That's for the new album. So I can say this style is more like roots.
The Roots approach to music emphasizes the diversity of Ugandan musical traditions, the forebearers of creative lineages, and the innovative contributions of musicians working in these traditions today.
I can tell you songs like Katitira, this is an originally traditional song, but I didn't go the way they sing it. I just changed it to Zouk. And everybody loves it. The kids love it. Or traditionally that song goes like ti ti katitira karaire kabaine mnyani wako ti ti katitira. So that's the way it goes. But I changed it and we'll sing like ti ti katitira ti ti katitira akama sindene kekonza akahoi mani kechanga. Mama, titi katitira, titi katitira, titi
Before the dominance of recorded music, concerts would be the only opportunity one would generally have to hear musicians play. Sarah has made her mark as being able to perform her music live to an audience, a style that is not very common in the Ugandan music scene today. She also dabbles as a songwriter and composer.
A sleeping baby tied to her back. It just happens. Sometimes I get a melody and I try to fix the words in that melody because the melody is so sweet. Then sometimes I have the words first and it's like I'll get a melody and the melody will have to change to accommodate all the words that I've written. So it's different. A headscarf of faded clothes. I borrow traditional rhythms. When I borrow a rhythm, then I write a song. Then when I get a melody, a traditional melody, then the rhythm sometimes is what I've borrowed.
Tulina songa twalinga bato ngate tulina chetujula mama galeta leta tanga leta jojo waleta ngana ya leta ramto twalinga bato ngohula mu sanyosa twalinga bato.
Every year, Sarah puts up a concert of the music she has released that year and the old favorites. And it is that time of the year that we all get ready for the gig.
With 2 albums down the road, it has got to be bigger. I'm going to do songs from my previous album. My previous album is Katitiria. It has great songs that have really put me there. Now people know that I do sing. They know my style, and now I have another one. In the previous concerts, I was doing mainly songs from my first album, Katitira. And like the last one I did in June, I did about 2 songs from this album that I'm going to do. But this time I'm going to give it to you all. And this time we do have, I'm working with Stella Attar, a great artist. She's a a celebrated artist, fashion designer, so many things. She's going to do the stage, so the stage is going to be good. And before the concert starts, we'll have a mini art exhibition. That's in the lobby at the National Theatre, because that's where it's going to be, in the lobby for about 30 minutes, and then people will get to know who Stella is and just see about some of the works that she has done. Then we'll get into the theatre, and this time, unlike many times, and so come and sing, as in curtain raisers. This time we're going to hear the voice of the artists.
That marks the end of our show today. Send us mail for comments and suggestions about the show. Our address is artanddesign@ntvuganda.co.ug. And until next week, nice viewing.
NTV.
On this week's edition of Rendezvous, we feature one of Uganda's R&B vocalists whose music aptitude can distinctively be notable from others. And get to know this week's top 5 videos on Rendezvous charts.
Right back at ya.
Michael Kakoza, aka Michael Ross, is a Ugandan urban R&B singer, songwriter and occasional rapper. When Michael started singing as a child in primary school, his talent as a singer was evident. Whilst in high school, he started dancing to the tunes of internationally recognized pop stars like Genuine, Cisco, and his principal idol Usher Raymond.
Trying to get a little VI, we're down on the low key. You know how it is for me. Loving you is all I wanna do.
His first appearance on the music scene, though, was as a hip-hop dancer at university events. Michael cherished singing so much that eventually he decided to turn his beloved hobby into a career. In the present day, Michael Ross ensures his place as one of Uganda's successful recording artists with prime cuts from his 2 solo albums. Though many didn't see him coming, his voice and smooth mixture of hip-hop beats, soul and R&B propelled him to platinum status.
Everybody in the club is on fire. Everybody on fire. Nobody in the club wants to retire. Just wanna retire. I wanna live with a girl that I desire.
Long before Michael Ross got a stage name, he was born Michael Kakoza as 7th in a family of 14.
So I used to rap before I started singing, and used to go to near Peter Sematimba, right? He had a studio in Makinde called Dungeon Studio. So we used to go there like all the time, you know, telling him, yo, we want to be stars one day, we want to be singers. And he was like, yeah, I can hook you up, but first you have to do school, you know. So he gave us a name called Tulibato, you know, but we didn't like it. Because the fellow was too local. Oh man, Tulibato, man, that's too local. We need something urban. I was like, how about Boys in Rhythm? Like, yeah. So we used to call ourselves Boys in Rhythm. And then I remember there's this guy called Terry DeVos. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's in the UK right now. He was a singer. He still is a singer though. He told me, Michael, when I look at you, I don't see a rapper, I see a singer. And I was like, man, you just play hating. He's like, no, for real. When I look at you, I don't see a rapper. Never mean be a singer. You can't be a rapper. Hell no.
In 2003, Michael converted a whole new legion of fans with chart-topping hits like the romantic groove Señorita.
There's this girl at school, you know, actually before we left school, that was around like say 3rd term, before we did our cantab, as in, you know, our finals, S6. There's this girl that I had a major crush on, big time, big time. And too bad, you know, she didn't recognize her. Man, I have feelings for her, you know. So it's, you know, one of those things, you know, when you got feelings for somebody, but you know, you can't tell them. So how will they know if you can't tell them? I couldn't even step up to her and tell her, you know what?
Got me thinking I need you. I wanna be your mechanica. All I do is think about your tender love, but I doubt if I will ever officially. Do you dream of me? 'Cause that is all I do.
That was Steve. I was like, so this
It's just a song I wrote about some chick, and I was like, cool, let's just do it. Then, bam. Next thing you know, it's big. I'm like,
Will it be my bonita? Yeah.
The renowned track was Michael's first single of his first 15-track album entitled You Are the One. In 2003, Michael won a Palm Award for Best R&B category for his work on Señorita. The album had several other hits including Jagala Balance, Some Girls, How Do You Love Somebody, You Are the One, and On Fire.
Everybody in the club is on fire. Everybody on fire. Nobody in the club wants to retire. This one on retire. I wanna live with a girl that I desire. Hotter than my liar. Really don't wanna deal with a liar. Never seen the club so packed like this. Girls come around and shake it like this. Never had a chance to do it like this. Girls come around and
Most of Michael's songs are based on his personal life.
actually, most of my songs are from personal experiences. You know, like it's an experience I went through at some point. You know, and I'm like, let me make a song out of it. You know.
I can't love you like the way I did before. It's over now.
The song is about a friend of mine experience. His girlfriend left him. Then at one point she wanted him back. You know, so it's a two-way thing. You know, it applies to me and some other friend of mine. So there you have it.
It's Over and its thriving video propelled Michael Ross to the limelight when it started featuring on the popular MTV base. Even beyond those songs lies examples of the lyrical honesty that the multi-talented entertainer brings to his new album. Yo Yo, which is the title of the album, is Michael's most definitive work to date, which with no doubt will help cement his role as one of Uganda's most multifaceted ambassador of groove. Michael Ross has every reason to be confident that his new album will follow its predecessors into the upper reaches of the charts in Uganda.
I have a new album that I'm working on. It's gonna have 10 tracks, you know, but I'm gonna blend with Luganda, Swahili, and English. So it's a 10-track album. It's gonna be out like say August, around August. That's when I intend to put it out.
Demonstrating a new level of vocal and creative maturity, the album features several songs like Tell Me, Yo Yo, It's Over, and Nkufirako, a collaboration he did with Wairi of Necessary Noise.
Wairi was like, yo, I want the Uganda market, man, I want the Uganda market. I'm like, cool. If you want Luganda, we can sing Luganda. It was like, no, you do the Luganda. I can't speak Luganda. I'm like, cool. You do the Luganda, I do the English raga dancer. I'm like, cool. So it's a nice song. It's called Nkufirako, and soon you guys are gonna hear it on radio. The chorus is like, Mwana gwenze nkufirako, niko byange nakuwangako. Then Wairi is like, see, I'll do anything to get with you, baby, baby.
Michael's latest release of his new album is currently hitting the airwaves and instantly earning him the bona fide status of a heartthrob with many female fans.
Lately, I've been trying to make a fusion of Afrobeat with R&B and pop. So I don't have a name yet for my music, but what I'm trying to do is make a fusion. So if you listen to Yo-Yo, Yo-Yo is not so local.
All I need to take me through the day. In my heart, you'll always have a place. I wanna show you my love.
Michael Ross, a former dancer, has a voice that with time, one feels that he could cover a wide vocal range.
You will not regret it. Why don't you just take my...
We're not getting as much as we're supposed to be getting out of our music. You know, we don't get what's supposed to be coming to us. You know, pirates are making all the money. You know, I could be right here sitting, I couldn't have it, with no money in my pockets, but the pirate out there is making lots and lots of money off my music. I want to be the next best thing to come out of Africa, especially Uganda, you know. When I look at Akon, when I look at Usher, R. Kelly, you know, I'm like, man, that's where I want to go. You know, when you see what those guys are doing, you know, even the music they produce, you know. So I don't want to limit myself, you know. That's why I chose R&B in the first place.
Though idols like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson inspired him, Michael Ross draws most of his leading light Usher Raymond.
When you look at me and the way I dance, I mean, of course you're gonna see Usher. You see Usher. So Usher's like my biggest inspiration dance-wise.
Cause on the 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, I don't ever wanna see your face again. Don't you dare, no, don't even try to call my phone.
In the course of his leisure time, Michael Ross takes a crack at shaping his body and keeping fit. With a career that keeps taking him to new heights of achievement and accomplishments, Michael Ross remains, in his own words, the master of the moment. Coming up on Rendezvous.
Turn around, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it.
Coming up on Rendezvous.
This a true bad man love story.
On this week's edition of Rendezvous, we feature one of Uganda's R&B vocalists whose music aptitude can distinctively be notable from others. And get to know this week's top 5 videos on Rendezvous charts.
Oh, right back at ya. Michael who?
Michael Kakoza, aka Michael Ross, is a Ugandan urban R&B singer, songwriter and occasional rapper. When Michael started singing as a child in primary school, his talent as a singer was evident. Whilst in high school, he started dancing to the tunes of internationally recognized pop stars like Genuine, Cisco, and his principal idol, Usher Raymond.
Trying to get a little VI, put down on the low key. You know how it is for me. Loving you is all I wanna do. I wanna do.
His first appearance on the music scene, though, was as a hip-hop dancer at university events. Michael cherished singing so much that eventually he decided to turn his beloved hobby into a career. In the present day, Michael Ross ensures his place as one of Uganda's successful recording artists with prime cuts from his 2 solo albums. Though many didn't see him coming, his voice and smooth mixture of hip-hop beats, soul and R&B propelled him to platinum status.
Everybody in the club is on fire. Everybody on fire. Nobody in the club wants to retire. This one not retire. I wanna live with a girl that I desire.
Long before Michael Ross got a stage name, he was born Michael Kakoza as 7th in a family of 14.
So I used to rap before I started singing, and used to go to near Peter Sematimba, right? He had a studio in Makinde called Dungeon Studio. So we used to go there like all the time, you know, telling him, yo, we want to be stars one day, we want to be singers. And he was like, yeah, I can hook you up, but first you have to do school, you know. So he gave us a name called Tulibato, you know, but we didn't like it. Because the fellow was too local. Like, oh man, Tulibato, man, that's too local. We need something urban. I was like, how about Boys in Rhythm? Like, yeah. So we used to call ourselves Boys in Rhythm. And then I remember there's this guy called Terry DeVos. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's in the UK right now. He was a singer. He still is a singer though. He told me, Michael, when I look at you, I don't see a rapper, I see a singer. And I was like, man, you just play hating. He's like, no, for real. When I look at you, I don't see a rapper. Never mean be a singer. You can't be a rapper. Hell no.
In 2003, Michael converted a whole new legion of fans with chart-topping hits like the romantic groove Señorita.
There's this girl at school, you know, actually before we left school, that was around like say 3rd term, before we did our cantab, as in, you know, our finals, S6. There's this girl that I had a major crush on, big time, big time. And too bad, you know, she didn't recognize her. Man, I have feelings for her, you know. So it's, you know, one of those things, you know, when you you got feelings for somebody, but you know, you can't tell them. So how will they know if you can't tell them? I couldn't even step up to her and tell her, you know what?
All I do is think about your tender love, but I doubt if I will ever officially. Do you dream of me? 'Cause that is all I do.
That was Steve. I was like, so this is a song I wrote about some chick, and I was like, cool, let's just do it. Then bam, next thing you know, it's big. I'm like,
Will it be my bonita? Yeah.
The renowned track was Michael's first single of his first 15-track album entitled You Are The One. In 2003, Michael won a Palm Award for Best R&B category for his work on Señorita.
Ooh la 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 la, throw your hands up. Ooh la 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 la, throw your hands up. If you're ready for the dance, I'll mix when you tell.
The album had several other hits including Jagala Balance, Some Girls, How Do You Love Somebody, You Are The One, and On Fire.
Everybody in the club is on fire. Everybody on fire. Nobody in the club wants to retire. This one on retire. I wanna live with a girl that I desire. What are you, my liar? Really don't wanna deal with a liar. Never seen the club so packed like this. Girls come around and shake it like this. Never had a chance to do it like this. Girls come around and
Most of Michael's songs are based on his personal life.
actually, most of my songs are from personal experiences. You know, like it's an experience I went through at some point. You know, and I'm like, let me make a song out of it. You know.
I can't love you like the way I did before. It's over now.
The song is about a friend of mine experience. His girlfriend left him. Then at one point she wanted him back. You know, so it's a two-way thing. You know, it applies to me and some other friend of mine. So there you have it.
It's Over and its thriving video propelled Michael Ross to the limelight when it started featuring on the popular MTV base. Even beyond those songs lies examples of the lyrical honesty that the multi-talented entertainer brings to his new album. Yo Yo, which is the title of the album, is Michael's most definitive work to date, which with no doubt will help cement his role as one of Uganda's most multifaceted ambassador of groove. Michael Ross has every reason to be confident that his new album will follow its predecessors into the upper reaches of the charts in Uganda.
I have a new album that I'm working on. It's gonna have 10 tracks, you know, but I'm gonna blend with Luganda, Swahili, and English. So it's a 10-track album. It's gonna be out like say August, around August. That's when I intend to put it out.
Demonstrating a new level of vocal and creative maturity, the album features several songs like Tell Me, Yo Yo, It's Over, and Nkufirako, a collaboration he did with Wairi of Necessary Noise.
Wairi was like, yo, I want the Uganda market, man, I want the Uganda market. I'm like, cool. If you want Luganda, we can sing Luganda. It was like, no, you do the Luganda. I can't speak Luganda. I'm like, cool. You do the Luganda, I do the English raga dancer. I'm like, cool. So it's a nice song. It's called Nkufirako, and soon you guys are gonna hear it on radio. The chorus is like, Mwana gwenze nkufirako niko byange nakuwangako. Then where it's like, see, I'll do anything to get with you, baby, baby.
Michael's latest release of his new album is currently hitting the airwaves and instantly earning him the bona fide status of a heartthrob with many female fans.
Lately I've been trying to make a fusion of Afrobeat with R&B and pop. So I don't have a name yet for my music, but what I'm trying to do is make a fusion. So if you listen to Yo-Yo, Yo-Yo is not so local.
Take me through the day. In my heart you always have a place. I wanna show you my love.
Michael Ross, a former dancer, has a voice that with time one feels that he could cover a wide vocal range.
You will not regret. Why don't you just take my
We're not getting as much as we're supposed to be getting out of our music. You know, we don't get what's supposed to be coming to us. You know, pirates are making all the money. You know, I could be right here sitting, I couldn't have it, I mean, with no money in my pockets, but the pirate out there is making lots and lots of money off my music. I want to be the next best thing to come out of Africa, especially Uganda, you know. When I look at Akon, when I look at Usher, R. Kelly, you know, I'm like, man, that's where I want to go. You know, when you see what those guys are doing, you know, even the music they produce, you know. So I don't want to limit myself, you know. That's why actually I chose R&B in the first place.
Though idols like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson inspired him, Michael Ross draws most of his inspiration from R&B leading light Usher Raymond.
When you look at me and the way I dance, I mean, of course you're gonna see Usher. You see Usher. So Usher's like my biggest inspiration dance-wise.
Cause on the 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, I don't ever wanna see your face again. Don't you dare, no, don't even try to call my phone.
In the course of his leisure time, Michael Ross takes a crack at shaping his body and keeping fit. With a career that keeps taking him to new heights of achievement and accomplishments, Michael Ross remains, in his own words, the master of the moment. Coming up on Rendezvous. coming up on Rendezvous.
This a true Batman love story. This a true Batman love story. Running down from me heart and the soul and spine. No one can feel me heart is shaking, and nobody can drive me tears when me cry.
amazima mutima benga takwagala
chiba chibi
chiba chitagwe gomatira amazima mutima benga takumatira
chiba chibi
buli kimugwe no kigumira naye oluterera mwatera kulumya
chiba chibi
chiba chitagwe gomatira akokuba mugonga tena kusomera chiba chibi oya goyagala okubanga takumatira chiba chibi oya gomatira okubanga takumatira
omukwano gwosimangu naddala ng'ebintu bya bwangu otoloka ng'oyita manju okuba kwekwekaba omuntu yo n'omusanga nga tunula ng'engo akugamba bamugambye ebigambo so nga takuyiiza kazannyo akulaga nti oli kisembo
wakitwala nti amazima ye mutuwo nokuba n'omuwa gwe buli kantuko akabe kasente ke nga tokankwatako omanyi nti weekuumira muntuwo n'omuwa buli kimu nga tojuliriza kabube bulabo nga bwe bumusanyusa omukwano gwo nga goguwa yeka ng'omanyi nti gwe wekeera bwalira kiba kitagwe gweyagala
amazima mutima gwe nga takwagala kiba kitagwe gwomatira amazima mutima gwe nga takumatira buli kimu gwe nokigumira naye oluterera mwate nakulumya kiba kitagwe gwomatira akukuba omugonga te nakusomera kiba kibi oyo gwoyagala okuba nga takumatira kiba kibi oyo gwomatira okuba nga takumatira
Kuka, who are the wins on Boom, Dutch Squad, Toolman Chivalama, Dennis Rackler, Gamuda Designer. Whoa, 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 Wakashula, Wakupura, Mukule Bagana Mufese, Wakupura, Toolman with a tool, hot like mahogany. Ladies, producer Alam, director Fana Penny, Ali Fanny, Nebulunchi, with a pretty cook in the victory. Namara Kubich, Nayamala Bikini, Ragadi, Namate Mufiti, Nayesepiri, Elio Gini, Nagakul Namama Fuwe Miti, Bakura Mukule, Akura Mukule, Wakula.
Mukule wagana mufise mukule wagana mufise
Mumpite Ugandan reggaeton master Eno dancehall treatment chite injection Witty, we Kumi I love my job.
This is NTV.
The Impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mbura National Park. With its reddish brown body, the Impala is very similar to the kob, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The Impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, Impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable leaps are the most well-known feature of the Impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, grab scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual maturity at 1 year and the male at 1.5. Gestation period is 6 to 7 months. In East Africa, young impalas are born all year round, but birth peaks usually coincide with the rains. The young are suckled for 4 to 6 months. The males will not be mature enough to hold a territory until they're 5 or 6 years old. Impala have a lifespan of 12 years.
NTV.
It is the Electoral Commission that has been accused of incompetence.
Blow to the opposition.
As Chief Whip and Kasese District Woman MP Winfred Kiza loses her parliamentary seat.
So tonight, as the opposition's chief whip loses her seat in parliament, fresh elections are set to be held.
The Court of Appeal orders the Electoral Commission to compensate the petitioner, Rehema Muhindo, after 6,000 votes were wrongfully invalidated.
Plus, the debate over the restoration of term limits shows no sign of fading.
Be sure to have your say on that matter on NTV poll tonight on whether or not the term limits should extend to include MPs.
Good evening and a warm welcome to this Monday edition of NTV Tonight. Let's now have a look at the rest of the headlines.
Back in court, corruption charges against 3 former ministers at the Anti-Corruption Court resume.
Tragedy in Gomba as fierce fire kills 9 people, including 7 children.
Captured at last. Wildlife officials capture a crocodile believed to have killed 4 people on the shores of Lake Victoria. Good evening and thank you for joining us here on NTV Tonight. I am Faith Ariho.
And I am Gabriel Epenu. Thank you for joining us. Now, FDC's Winfred Kiza, the opposition chief whip in Parliament, has lost her seat as the Kasese District Woman Member of Parliament.
The Court of Appeal ruled this morning that over 6,000 votes were wrongfully invalidated by the Electoral Commission in the 2011 polls, which substantially affected the outcome of the election.
Well, the court ordered the commission to compensate the petitioner, Rehema Muhindo, and also to hold fresh elections.
Jingo Francis has the top story.
Justice Mpaji Bahigaine, together with Justice Augustine Nsimye and Justice Remi Kasure, today overturned the High Court ruling of Fort Portal, which had ruled in favor of Kasese Woman MP and the opposition chief whip, Winnie Kiza.
Just take heart. I am going back to Katwe to tell those people that you know what, they have said that you illegally voted and wrongly voted. But anyway, I am sure they gave me their vote genuinely. I think I will also ask permission from you to support her. So they are going, you are going to the by-election. I'm going to the by-election.
Winnie Kiza had defeated Rehema Muhindo with a margin of over 1,400 votes. All the 3 judges in the Court of Appeal have concurred and ruled in favor of Rehema Muhindo of the NRM party.
Muhindo Rehema, I'm very excited. The truth has come. Those electoral commission people, they cheated us, but all the same, God has given us proof. Obviously, we shall have to go back to the people and seek for vote. These people are very excited here. You can just hear them. They are very excited. I'm very, very excited. Because God has made it, at last it has become the truth.
The judges found that their colleague in the High Court of Fort Portal, erred by not setting aside the election of Winnie Kiza, since the Electoral Commission did not comply with the electoral laws, which substantially affected the results.
But here the court is saying, yes, Chigundu, you are incapable. And the election has, the incapability has affected the election in a substantial manner. You can see jeopardy in our courts. When it is Museveni, they can sit on it. But when it is a small person like Win and possibly FDC, they say it has affected the election in a substantial manner.
And the Electoral Commission failed in its duty to see that the elections were conducted in accordance with the electoral, because they failed to properly count, tally, and declare the winner. And in addition, in some instances, a number of votes were invalidated, though they were valid.
The judgment against the opposition chief whip has been made on 9 counts, on which the complainant Rehema Muhindo based on her to appeal. Court has also ordered the Electoral Commission to pay all the costs both to Winnie Kiza and Rehema Muhindo, but Winnie Kiza is demanding for legal costs amounting to 200 million shillings from the Electoral Commission.
I have costs in the lower court. I am looking at around 200 million, which is supposed to be paid to me in damages. And you know, because I'm paying for, I have suffered a consequence that has not been created by me, Electoral Commission has to pay me.
The court has found out that either X or the Electoral Commission was guilty of some of these mishaps. Then surely somebody must be compensated for going through this system.
We must have our seat. It was given to us by the people of Kasese, and we cannot hand it to the Electoral Commission or to the NRM. We cannot.
Now, court is due to communicate to the Electoral Commission and Parliament about its decision on which the Electoral Commission will appoint a date for the by-election for the Kasese woman seat. Court says 10 more court appeals remain to be disposed of before the end of this month. Jingo Francis, NTV.
Next tonight, the Anti-Corruption Court today started a long-awaited trial of former health ministers Jim Muhwezi, Mike Mukula, Dr. Alice Kamugisha, and his State House aide Alice Kavoyo. The trial kicks off after a lengthy tussle by the four accused to challenge trial in cases of embezzlement, forgery and theft. It is alleged that the four caused a loss of 1.6 billion shillings of the Global Alliance Vaccine and Immunization Fund. The Inspector General of Government is prosecuting the case before an Anti-Corruption Court Chief Magistrate.
The trial of Muhwezi, Mukula, Kamugisha and Alice Kaboyo stopped in 2007 before witnesses could be cross-examined by defense lawyers. The four accused and their lawyers walked out of Buganda Road Magistrates Court, protesting the jurisdiction of Magistrate Margaret Tibulia to try corruption-related cases. Once courts ruled that a magistrate's court can try corruption cases, the four went ahead to challenge the powers of the IGG to prosecute them. They lost out on the objection, and once the President appointed High Court Judge Irene Mulyagonja as IGG, the inspectorate was constituted and ready to prosecute. Today, court started from where it stopped in 2007. 3 witnesses appeared. Dr. Isa Makumbi, a coordinator of immunization services, then told court how he signed checks to withdraw Gavi funds, but he was not aware of anyone engaged in theft of the monies. He told court that there is no day he escorted Muhwezi to a bank to withdraw money amounting to 210 million. Muhwezi and others are said to have participated in forgery, embezzlement, theft and abuse of office in their designated offices, thereafter causing a loss of 1.6 billion shillings of the Gavi funds.
Now, a section of legislators from across the political divide have teamed up with civil society organizations to campaign for the restoration of presidential term limits. In a news conference held at Hotel Africana, a number of religious leaders and eminent persons insisted that the time was right for the country to restore the term limits as it marks 50 years of independence. Now, as Maurice Ochol reports, the conference was organized by the Citizens Coalition for Electoral Democracy in Uganda.
For some sections of the public who had thought that the debate surrounding the restoration of term limits had fizzled out, then think again. This morning, a combined force of lawmakers from the 9th Parliament and civil society organizations came out to address the public on some of the reasons why they haven't given up and why they are still gearing up for this cause.
In your various conversations and publications, you are going to be able to publicly pronounce yourselves on this matter as a demand by civil society, and believe that our president will pronounce himself in support of the restoration of term limits campaign. We really hope.
Bishop Zach Neringie, one of the co-leaders in this activism, gives some of the reasons why they are coming out to push for this cause.
That we want to restore hope, the restoring of hope and the guaranteeing of a future for a peaceful, prosperous Uganda.
A number of NRM legislators were to present as they showed their solidarity towards this cause.
Respect the Ugandans' call for the restoration of term limits, not as a matter of joke. Ugandans are not joking.
Some of the lawmakers that were in the 7th Parliament apologized and said they fully support the push to restore term limits.
I apologize to Ugandans that I was part and parcel of the process of removing term limit from the Constitution.
And until we restore the term limit, let me tell you, there is no electoral process in this country.
Others argued that this was just the beginning of the new era for a political change as the country prepares to celebrate the 50 years Golden Jubilee.
A letter to your member of parliament and remind him that we are watching. Please, this is our time to restore hope in this country.
But because we love this country more.
However, as the conference was ending, some lawmakers added in further views, arguing that they wanted the restoration of term limits to be extended to include members of parliament as well.
For those of us who may be in love with President Museveni, how good can it be that he can join the likes of President Mukapa, President Mwinyi?
We should have term limits for all elective positions in this country, right from LC1 up to the president.
An MP goes for maybe 5 years or 7 years and then comes back for only 2 terms. I think that would build more confidence in the people.
Lawmakers agitating for the restoration of term limits look at the country as getting back to political sanity. In fact, they argue that come independence celebration, where the country will be making 50 years of independence, this will be one way of providing the country with a political gift. Maurice Achol, NTV.
Now, it is from that story that we engage you tonight. In our NTV poll this evening, we would like to hear from you on this issue. So we are asking,
or should the push for the introduction of term limits be extended to include members of parliament as suggested by some? Should the push for the introduction of term limits be extended to include members of parliament as suggested by some quarters?
To have your say, text 8778 followed by yes and no, as well as your name and where you're texting from, and we shall be reading some of your comments during tonight's newscast, as well as bringing you the final poll result for tonight.
Moving on, 9 people, all from the same family, have been killed in a brutal act which has left residents of Kasiba village in Gomba district in dismay. It is suspected to have evolved from a land dispute between 2 brothers. It is believed that the 9 were first stabbed to death and later the house in which they were staying set ablaze. Julius Senkandwa reports.
The village of Kasiba in Gomba district has been plunged into mourning after 9 people, all from one family, were killed early this morning. The breadwinner William Bukoma and his entire family, that includes his 30-year-old wife Barbara Nampira, elder son Ivan Watulo, 9-year-old Bukona Sunday, Sewungu Gerard aged 8, 17 Enoch 7 years old, and 2 toddler twins Babili and Nakato. The 9 deceased, only identified as Mwanga, is still missing. It is said they were first stabbed and later the house in which they were staying in was set ablaze.
Nempita nga temuli ayitaba nzo okulaba nga ekinyolo kisibire wabweru kati bwe nga kisibire wabweru nensembera ku nyumba nentunula mu ddirisa bweru nzo okulaba nga munda eri watangaala emabega nendowooza nti oba ennyumba emmanju yagudde kwetoloola bwe nti nzo okulaba nga munda ndabamu ebintu ebisiriza nensooka ndowooza nti oba ennyumba yagudde bo ne baba oba yayidde bo ne baba nga bagenze nagenze okwetegereza nga ndaba bantu bennyini.
All were burnt beyond recognition. Because of the heat, part of the house gave way, and by the time we reached the scene, the smoke was still evident on top of the roof. According to residents, William has been having a long-standing wrangle with the elder brother, Watulo Michael, who is suspected to have committed this murderous act.
Echavideo kutibwakwe aina muganda we gatwategerekana nenga muganda ku kitawe nenga sikunyabwa nenga tutegerekana era yaberangawa katena asenguka nagende wabwe.
William, a former UPDF officer, was a peasant farmer on the 4 hectares of land.
Kati oluvanyuma mu kunoonyereza webagwiridde ku buli siiti obwajjeje bus company nga omuntu abantu babiri abo baalinnye okuva e Kenya ku lw'omukaaga nga mwenda ne baba nga bajja eno naye ate tetwabalabako. Kati y'ensonga lwaki tuteebereza okuba nga bajja ne beekweka ne bamala okukola obulabe bwabwe ne bagenda.
Police have kicked off its investigations and a manhunt for Watulo, who is the lead suspect in this case.
But we are yet to investigate and establish exactly what happened.
All the deceased have this afternoon been buried at their ancestral home in Kasiba village, Gomba district. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Very sad state of affairs there in Gomba. Well, we're going to take a short break right now, but here is some of what you can expect when we return.
We will greatly miss their services.
Kenya's President Mwai Kibaki orders a full investigation into the cause of yesterday's fatal helicopter crash.
And we assess Trevada, the latest drug in the fight against HIV and AIDS. NTV Tonight continues after this short break. Stay tuned.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Welcome back. We start with a reminder of our NTV poll question for tonight and some of your responses. Tonight we ask, should the push for the introduction of term limits be extended to include members of parliament as suggested by some? Should the push for the introduction of term limits be extended to include members of parliament as suggested by some quarters?
Well, to have your say, text 8778, then yes or no, and followed by your name and where you are texting from. Let's now take a look at some of your comments so far.
Okay, well, Idris Sultan, you say only if it's the citizens who enact them.
And Isaac here says, I'm reluctant to weigh in because the possibility of it happening is close to zero.
Okay, this is how the tentative poll result stands right now. 86% of our respondents tonight are saying yes, while 14% of you say no.
Well, stay tuned as we shall be bringing you more comments on tonight's final poll result at the tail end of tonight's newscast.
Okay. Now, the discovery of a HIV vaccine is what most people hope for, and stories that are being run in some media are giving them such hope that a vaccine has been found.
But currently, it remains only a false hope because no vaccine has yet been found.
Well, the Africa AIDS Vaccine Partnership has come out to clarify mixed reports concerning Truvada, which is still to be approved as only a preventive drug against HIV and not a vaccine.
Such misconceptions are referred to because of us. I beg your pardon. Such misconceptions are feared to cause a stall in efforts to find the real vaccine, as it may scare volunteers away.
Such a newspaper headline reading AIDS vaccine found will definitely draw your attention. According to the African AIDS Vaccine Partnership, this rush of excitement has to be tempered with reality.
When it is time and when the government feels it is ready to roll out Truvada to everybody, they will definitely do that.
Since 2004, Truvada, a combination of two drugs manufactured by California-based Gilead Sciences company, has been used as an antiretroviral drug. However, following studies in America in 2010, it was discovered to prevent contraction of the virus in homosexuals by about 43% and last year in discordant heterosexual couples by about 73%. On June 15th, a decision to determine the fate of the drugs used by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration was to be taken, but it has now been postponed to September 14th this year. Critics of the drug say that there are a number of challenges in using it truly as a universal way to protect against HIV.
Taking a drug every single day when you're not sick is really hard.
You cannot be consistent with it.
There's a concern that if you take that medication and then become HIV infected and don't know it, you could actually develop resistance to that drug. The drug is expensive, does have side effects, and again, if you're otherwise healthy and you're taking a pill and it's making you a little bit nauseated, are you really going to continue to take it?
There are many challenges of using drugs for prevention, and this is why scientists believe that a vaccine is needed. But now false stories being run in some newspapers may jeopardize ongoing efforts to find one.
We are still looking for our very good volunteers who participate in trials. It could affect, and people say, but already you have a vaccine, why are we bothering us?
Volunteers who are HIV negative are still very much needed to help scientists in finding a vaccine, even here in Uganda, where phase 1 vaccine studies are ongoing. And remember, even a vaccine will require use of present preventive measures like circumcision, which reduces HIV by 60%, microbicides, condom use, abstinence, and being faithful, among others. Florence Nalimba, NTV.
The Kenyan government has today appointed a team of experts that will head a public inquiry into the helicopter crash that killed Internal Security Minister George Saitoti and his Assistant Minister Ora Ojode and 4 others. The team, to be chaired by Lady Justice Kalpana Rawal, was appointed at the end of a special cabinet sitting today to finalize burial arrangements of the fallen statesman. Maurice Mugisha reports from Nairobi with the highlights of today's meeting that drew members from all political divides in honor of their colleagues.
A day after the passing of Internal Security Minister Professor George Saitoti and his deputy Ora Ojode in a tragic helicopter crash, a special cabinet sitting was organized this morning.
Our dear Heavenly Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
The sitting, chaired by President Mwai Kibaki, was to mull over the death of their senior parliamentary and cabinet colleagues.
Of mind and purpose.
It was also expected that the meeting would finalize the barrier arrangements of not just the ministers, but also the pilots and police officers who died in the chopper mishap. Addressing the meeting, Transport Minister Amos Kimunya released preliminary findings into the cause of the crash. Kimunya sought to quell speculation when he revealed that a committee would be set up to hold public hearings and its findings made public.
We will have to have a public inquiry into the causes and what happened, and within this afternoon we will be constituting the team, how to gazette a team that will then carry on the public inquiry.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President Kibaki all praised the fallen statesman for serving his country diligently.
I think we owe it to George Saitoti as members of parliament to do everything in our power to ensure that the coming elections are peaceful. I think that will be a fitting tribute to George Saitoti.
We will greatly miss their services to our nation. They were patriots and committed public servants.
This moment is very painful. This moment is one such moment I will never want to experience going forward.
As details filter in on the final barrier arrangements, Kenyans today began 3 days of national mourning. Morris Mugisha, NTV.
Now, a 50-year-old crocodile has been rescued from Ranika village in Muyuge after it was reported to have killed about 4 people over a period of 5 months. The male crocodile that was captured alive and healthy will be transferred to Maction Falls National Park, away from the human population for both its own personal safety and the safety of the local community. Craig Kadoda with that story.
This Uganda Wildlife Authority truck driving into the headquarters in Bukoto was carrying this heavy crocodile after it was captured in Ranika village, Mayuge district. The crocodile is believed to have been on a rampage in the area that is a lake shore and is reported to have eaten 4 residents. The local community then called for help to capture the reptile. The 5.2-meter crocodile that is believed to have been the dominant male will be transferred to safety.
We are translocating it to Karuma area in Maction Falls National Park, where we are going to release it. The number of crocodiles there is a lot of space for crocodiles. It will definitely find its niche.
The Wildlife Authority, however, blames the public for encroaching on the location and feeding ground for the crocodiles, which has exposed them to danger.
These people are being attacked by the crocodiles. It's because they are going right up to the home of the crocodiles, which is the lake, to collect water, to wash their clothes. I think it is the responsibility of the local government to provide clean water, safe and clean water to the communities, so that they don't have to go by the lakeside.
The Uganda Wildlife Authority is calling upon the public not to celebrate yet, because this is not a long-lasting solution, but just a temporary relief measure, because more crocodiles could soon invade the area.
In the animal world, you have a dominant animal which is controlling a particular area, and if that dominant animal is removed, then there probably will be a fight within the next generation until another dominant one comes. So there will be a replacement, definitely.
Crocodiles are opportunistic animals that eat and feed on flesh that is easy to target and hunt, which puts human beings at a high risk. Craig Kadoda, NTV.
We'll take another break right now, but I will be back with NTV Business in just a short while.
This is NTV. NTV. This is 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 NTV.
Welcome to NTV Business. I will be sitting in for Joel Kamadi throughout the week. Joel is on leave. First, tonight, a projected growth of 6.7 for the 2011-2012 financial year and a budget expenditure in the excess of 9 trillion shillings. This year was supposed to fit the profile of the last decade at record growth. From the start, however, things started going wrong and the budget did not deliver its intended impact, as economic dynamics presented arguably the toughest challenge to Uganda's economic managers in nearly 20 years. Now, tonight in the budget review, we look at the challenge of the economic environment to the delivery of the budget with Samuel Setumba.
Almost at the end of this financial year, this announcement came.
Gross domestic product at market price for the financial year 2011-12 is estimated to grow at 3.2%.
The expectation was 6.7% growth. But underlying this number is what became characteristic of the financial year. Starting with this declaration.
The Bank of Uganda intends to maintain a tight monetary policy stance to curb demand for credit and thus dampen expectations over a period of 6 to 12 months.
That declaration of 6 to 12 months actually made the financial year. Inflation did hit levels of 30% and has been very hard to bring down. But in the determined effort to bring down inflation, trouble began to brew, starting with the traders.
We have resolved that all commercial banks be ordered to return the money of all clients, customers, who borrowed the money and their interest was increased without their consent.
Short of that, when it comes to the 10th of January and this is not done, the business community, the teachers and whoever is concerned are going to sit down and close their businesses in protest of this.
Therefore came the traders' strike. The banks had increased their lending rates, as the central bank forced them to do through monetary policy.
Usually taxes are paid using bank loans. So with tightening monetary policy and high interest, that's why we have the big build-up of stocks in the bond.
And those who contribute to those tax revenues, if they are not growing, the tax revenue is very difficult for the tax revenues to grow at the level required for the services to be generated by government.
It's really been a challenging year, of course, with the volatility in the exchange rate. Clearly where we are now, there are growth challenges that have emerged.
So did the budget deliver the needed growth? No. Inflation continues to be a threat to growth, and going forward, a sticking concern come next budget.
Boosting real GDP growth will require a resumption of private sector credit growth through a gradual reduction of interest rates over the next 6 to 12 months.
You can't ignore completely inflation as you do that. So while growth seems to be the focus now, it is, in my view, going to be a very challenging for governments to balance both sides of the equation.
Therefore, the next budget has got the inflation problem and external European economic risk to deal with, even as it must boost growth, which must not continue to plummet. Samuel Setumba, NTV.
In the financial markets, the shilling has remained fairly strong against the dollar, helped by, among others, improved inflows from the mainly coffee export. We have more in the financial market report. And finally, in NTV Business for tonight, following steadfast performance recorded last year by virtually all commercial banks, government is persuading them to expand out to reach to the countryside. Addressing industry players here in Kampala, Finance Minister Maria Kiwanuka insisted that streaming in more depositors and borrowers from the wider population would stimulate economic growth.
Performance of Uganda's commercial banking sector last year astounded many, as most players nearly doubled their returns, not realized in many years. Now government is urging banks to actively participate in financial deepening that should see many credit-starved enterprises in the countryside secure working capital.
For example, Citibank's program of supporting larger microfinance institutions has helped to strengthen the microfinance industry that is so crucial for many small and medium enterprises, or SMEs. The bulk of the Ugandan economy is based on SMEs. And ladies and gentlemen, believe me, they are the winners of the future. So Citibank, please climb on board.
Finance Minister Maria Kiwanuka made this plea while addressing banking professionals at an event arranged to mark 200 years of Citigroup and 13 years of the bank's operations in Uganda.
Specialized products required by the bigger entities include trade finance, financing of major capital investments, dealing with foreign exchange losses and gains, as well as intermediation of large foreign direct investments and portfolio investments.
Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi admitted the existing gap in bridging the financial service delivery segment and assuring the financial investors of good returns.
So when you come to invest in Uganda, please do so on a long-term basis, because Uganda will always maintain a climate that favors investment, protects your investment.
Reina Urgin, NTV Business.
And that winds up NTV Business. Coming up though is Faith Ariho to take you through NTV Sport. Do stay with us.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
NTV Sports with Guinness.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Sport. I am Faith Ariho. Now, the Uganda Cranes resumed training this morning at the Mandela National Stadium in preparation for the return leg against Congo Brazzaville this weekend. The two sides will meet in the return leg of the African Nations Cup qualifiers after the first leg in Congo that ended in a 3-1 defeat for the Cranes.
Striker Mike Serumaga joined the team after serving his punishment of missing the Senegal game and forfeiting all the financial benefits. Serumaga was punished by coach Bob Williamson for sleeping out of the Sky Hotel camp on Thursday night, one day to the Senegal game. Team captain Adam Mwesigwa, who suffered a groin injury on Saturday against Senegal, trained separately today as the team returned from a day off. However, Mwesigwa is expected to recover ahead of the Saturday encounter.
I've talked to the doctors and the way they see, I think I will be ready by Saturday. I got immediate treatment immediately from the scene. I got some injections in the veins, and I think it has worked really well, and hopefully in 2 or 3 days I will be fine.
Meanwhile, midfielder Tony Maweje and goalkeeper Abedaira return to Iceland tomorrow. Maweje is banned for the game and Daira was called back by his club. Sam Poza, NTV Sport.
Now, Center College in Mbara and Bishop Ogez girls football team from Bushenyi have qualified to represent the Ankole region in the final of the Airtel Rising Star Soccer Tournament in the boys and girls categories respectively.
Center College are the champions of the Ankole region Airtel Rising Stars. The final played at Mbara's Kachema Stadium saw Center College beat Mbugu Secondary School by 3-1. They qualified to represent the Southwestern region in the national competition in August this year. They will be joined by Bishop Ogeza girls team who also qualified in the girls category. Ogeza beat Mbugu Secondary School by 2-0 to take the girls title. The Airtel-sponsored Under-17 Championship is organized to develop soccer talents among the young people across the country.
Ours is geared at the unskilled players who would probably never have had a chance to play this kind of football. So we're scouting for them and we're giving them a chance to showcase their skill at an international level.
Airtel Rising Stars, one of Africa's greatest football tournaments, has returned. If you're out there, we'll find you.
Now, drama ensued in Mubende town last evening during the Masaza Cup competition as the game between home side Boekula and visiting Bulemezi was interrupted by a heavy downpour. The game was still in a goalless stalemate when the rain started. When the already muddy pitch became waterlogged, the match official was left with no option but to call off the game prematurely. The matter was referred to the organizing committee to decide whether the game will be rescheduled. Now let's take a look at the action from the Euro 2012 Championships in our international sports wrap.
Fabregas salvaged a point for Spain as the champions began the defense of the European title in a pulse-setting encounter in Gdansk last night. The Barcelona midfielder fired in after a clever pass by David Silva as Spain came from a goal down against Italy to draw the opening match of Group C. Substitute Antonio Di Natale had given Italy a deserved lead on the hour mark. The result ended Spain's run of 14 successive victories in competitive matches, dating back to their defeat by Switzerland in the opening match of the 2010 World Cup.
Djokovic's double fault.
In tennis, Rafael Nadal won a record 7th French Open title after ruthlessly snuffing out Novak Djokovic's comeback to win 6-4, 6-3, 2-6, 6-5 in a rain-affected final. Nadal resumed leading 6-4, 6-3, 2-6, 1-2, but his uncharacteristic wobble late on Sunday had fueled Djokovic's belief. The Spaniard broke back in the first game of the day, however, and then piled pressure on an unsettled Djokovic. The Serb finally folded with a double fault to hand Nadal an 11th Grand Slam. Having drawn level with Bjorn Borg on 6 Roland Garros titles last year, the victory gave Nadal sole ownership of the landmark, and the 26-year-old is likely to have plenty of opportunities to stretch further clear.
Are you ready to drink at the table of men?
And in the just concluded clash tonight in Group D, the final score was a 1-1 draw between France and England. Kicking off very soon is the other Group D clash between Ukraine and Sweden. And that winds up NTV Sport for tonight. Thank you for watching. Let's now take a look at Tuesday's weather prospects.
Okay, let's now take you back to tonight's NTV poll, and we asked you, should the push for the introduction of term limits be extended to include members of parliament as suggested? Well, the final poll result is out. 85% of our respondents tonight agree that the term limits should extend to parliamentarians, while 15% of you say no.
Thank you so much for all your comments tonight. Let's now take a look at some of them.
Okay, Kabibi Kayongo, you say yes because it gives hope to those who are also vying for leadership.
And Brian Oluka says no term limit is and democratic. If the citizens want to vote for a minister again after any number of terms and the minister is willing to serve, why should their wishes automatically be denied?
An interesting one here, Job Tom Gidudu, you say, oh yes, then they will experience the panic that the president goes through every 5 years.
And Don Charles here says that should be implemented because we need change not only with the biggest post, but even with other politicians like MPs.
Thank you very much once again for all of your comments tonight. That concludes Monday's NTV Tonight edition. Faith will return at 11:30 for a final roundup of the day's news. For now, though, it's thank you for watching. I'm Gabriel Epeno.
I'm Faith Ariho. Good night.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.